All right, everyone. This is a bit of a different meeting than we often have because the call to order in the traditional sense will actually be item 1.02. That's when I'll really call everything to order. But we do have an opening item prior to that true call to order, and that is 1.01, the ceremonial swearing in of the trustees elected in 2024. So the 4 trustees that did win their elections in 2024, they were legally sworn in. We were legally sworn in on Monday, January 6th, and that's when we had some families for a private engagement. Now, for this moment, we'll be sharing with our community a ceremonial swearing in where we have various people important to us doing this role. So as we each get up one by one, the trustees know at their choosing, they may take a moment to explain the symbolism behind the people that they have chosen today and their contribution to these trustees in the moment that we have before us. And so the first new trustee that we will invite up is Trustee Christine Hull.
Do you want me to explain it here or there?
Either way.
Okay.
Yes, we always listen to JJ.
All right. Hi, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Feels like we've been here all day. When I was 5 years old, on the first day of kindergarten, I went home and told my mom that I was going to be a teacher. But what I really told her was, I'm going to be like Mrs. Loggy when I grow up. And this is Mrs. Loggy, my kindergarten teacher. And so when she was an incredibly supportive person when I decided to run for this and has been my entire career, and she's friends with so many of us. We went to Lincoln Park Elementary School, and she was the best kindergarten teacher ever. She dressed up for us, and we had stations, and just she built a love of learning for us. And so when I had this opportunity, I asked her if she would do my swearing in. So. All right, Jay, do you want to, I stand here?
All right.
Okay.
Go for it. Okay,
I, Christine Hull,
do solemnly
swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution of Government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and the Constitution and Government of the State of Nevada
and the Constitution and government of the State of Nevada
against all enemies,
whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear faith, allegiance, and loyalty to the same, any ordinance, resolution, or law of any state notwithstanding, and that I will well and faithfully perform all the duties of the office of school trustee on which I'm about to enter, so help me God.
of which I'm about to enter, so help me God.
Now you get to sign.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to leave the pen here.
All right, thank you. All right, Pastor Dupree, good to see you, brother. So just so everyone here knows, some of you already know I like to live my life based in faith. I am a religious person, and when I moved here to Reno, there's only a handful of people that look like me. So we have a group called Brothers. We have professional brothers, and we all hang out, and we try to let our hair down in the privacy of a home where nowhere else can see us act the fool. And then we always have one person, Pastor Dupree, to make sure that we don't act too much of a fool. So I asked him to be here today to help me, to give me the oath. So, anyway.
Well, I want to say it's an honor to be here and to celebrate this with you today. And, man, thank you for your commitment and service to our community as a school trustee board, as the rest of you all. And even Joe. Hey, Joe, how you doing? I got to tell you, Joe, I wanted to say congratulations on your new post. I lost Joe as a basketball player. We played at 6 a.m. in the morning. He was really good, and he challenged me. But I'm glad you're sitting in that seat. I want to thank you for your service and dedication to this community, to our students, and to our educational value, and it's very essential as you take this oath as a school trustee board member.
Thank
All
you,
right?
brother.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you repeat after me?
Yes.
I,
I,
Alex Woodley,
Alex Woodley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and government
and the Constitution and government
of the state of Nevada
of the state of Nevada
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
whether domestic or foreign,
whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and that I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance,
any ordinance,
resolution, or law
resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will tell and faithfully perform
and that I will tell and faithfully perform
all the duties of the office of school trustee
all the duties of the office of school trustee,
on which I'm about to enter.
of which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Amen. Oh, that's for me. Oh, I get to keep it.
So hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here in this moment and to be sworn in today by former Washoe County School Board President Melina Raymond. But before any of you knew me, I knew Melina as the trustee that represented me in District D, because my life changed one day in 2016 when I was standing in front of a bulletin board with 45 little yellow bumblebees in this collage. And that was the moment that I realized my older son was in kindergarten with 45 kids. And it felt insurmountable. How do we teach? How do we ask our team members to do their best? How do we ask our kids to do our best? So I did a thing that we're all told to do, but rarely actually do. And I sent an email to the person who represented me on the Washoe County School Board. I did not know her. She did not know me, but she wrote me back. We met for coffee, and in that conversation, there was a fateful question. I asked her, what can I do to help? But Melina didn't respond back right away. She said, well, that's pens. Do you want to help your child, or do you want to help all children? And I knew in that moment I wanted to help all children. Since then, Melina has been an incredible mentor of mine, a cheerleader, someone that I value. So today she'll be swearing me in, and I'm also wearing my bumblebee pin that Trustee Nicolette got for me as well, which symbolizes all of those little bumblebees on that bulletin board all those years ago. And look where we are now. So on that note, I think we're ready, and I'm just so grateful for you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here today. See if I can do this without messing it up. I, state your name,
I, Elizabeth Smith,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
against all enemies,
whether
domestic or foreign, and that I will bear true faith, allegiance, and loyalty to the same. Any ordinance, resolution, or law of any state notwithstanding, and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
all the duties of the office of school trustee
all of the duties of the office of school trustee
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Grab your Kleenex box now.
Jennifer Batchelder, JJ, my first and forever JJ. We've known each other a long time. We were kind of both babies when we started, and it was Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, and JJ was the note taker and that kept everyone in line, and we were all learning together. And then in 2016, I was appointed and honored to be appointed. And JJ came to me, and the first thing she said was, you got to step down from Safe and Healthy Schools Commission because you can't serve as a trustee. And I still love her because she was right. She has always kept me right and good and learning. And we've learned together for a very long time, and I hope we... Okay, I'm ready.
I state your name.
I, Diane Nicolette,
Do solemnly swear that I will support,
that I do solemnly swear that I will support,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
whether domestic or foreign,
whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith,
and I will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
allegiance, and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance,
resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding, and that I will well
and
and faithfully perform all the duties of the office
of
school trustee on which I am about to enter,
on which I am about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
All right, everyone. That closes item 1.01. And we'll now move on to item 1.02, which oddly enough is the call to order. So at this point, it is 2:17 p.m. on this Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. And I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees. It has already been a very exciting day. And now I would like to ask for roll call for item 1.03.
I want to get sworn in. I feel a little left out. Okay, roll call. Trustee Christine Hall.
Present.
Vice President Adam Mayberry. Here? Okay. Trustee Nicolette.
Good afternoon.
And for the first time officially, Trustee J.J. Phoenix.
Present.
Welcome, sir. President Beth Smith. Here. Trustee Colleen Westlake. Here. Trustee Alex Woodley. Here. And Student Representative Annie Batavia is here. We have a quorum, Madam President.
All right. We'll move on now to item 1.04. So, like I said, today has been a very exciting day. It is the first regular meeting of the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees, although we have had 2 special meetings that have preceded today. But we have someone really, really special that will be leading us in today's pledge. She is an educator of over 2 decades, many of those here in the Washoe County School District. She knew, and this might give it away, that she wanted to be a teacher on her very first day of kindergarten. And we saw that special person right before us. She is absolutely passionate about the programs she leads, which includes coordinating the We the People, History Day, and a variety of other ways to connect our students and staff with the history of our nation. Most recently, she served as the chair of the Zoning Advisory Committee, which is how I met her in the very first professional sense. And you better believe as soon as I did, I wondered, who is that? Because she was articulate, she was smart, she was kind, and she brought people into her way of thinking so that we could arrive at the very best decision possible. She is passionate about the Constitution and bringing her knowledge of it to students and our community. She is a true champion of public education, and she is the new trustee representing District A in the Washoe County School District. Trustee Christine Hull, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? And now we'll move on to item 1.05, our land acknowledgement. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant homes in the hope of a better life. And some have lived on this land for more generations than can be counted. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. We begin this effort to acknowledge what has been buried by honoring the truth. We acknowledge that some of our educational structures are situated in the traditional homelands of the Washoe, Washoe, Numu, Northern Paiute, Niwi, Western Shoshone, and Nuwu, Southern Paiute peoples. We pay respect to their elders, past and present. These lands continue to be a gathering place for Indigenous peoples, and we recognize their deep connections to these places. We extend our appreciation for the opportunity to live and learn in their territory. Thank you all. That closes item 1.05 and section 1 in its entirety. And brings us now to section 2. This is the annual reorganization of the Board of Trustees. These are all items for action, which means that each individual item will also include public comment. So we will open now with item 2.01. These are board nominations and election of President of the Board of Trustees for 2025 from among the following: Christine Hull, Adam Mayberry, Diane Nicolette, Beth Smith, Colleen Westlake, Alex Woodley, and newly appointed District C trustee. This is an item for possible action. I do have to read it the way that it was originally posted, but we know now that it's trustee J.J. Phoenix. All right. And so now we will open it up for any nominations.
Just as a reminder on the nominations, so how this works is first nominations come in. So it's not a motion, it's just nominations. And so I nominate John Doe. John Doe, do you accept the nomination? I do. Once nominations are closed, then public comment. And then at that, or are you going to do a motion? motion or public comment. It's up to you on the order. But either way, at some point, a motion has to be made afterwards. So right now, we're just nominating.
Okay.
No motions.
When does the talking come in? After the motion.
That's really up to you. But what I would suggest, and I always think it's better so that you hear from the public ahead of time, do the nominations, public comment. This way you can consider what the public has to say, then deliberate amongst yourselves, and then make the motion.
Okay, thank you. I would like to nominate Beth Smith for president.
I accept the nomination.
Now you ask, are there any other nominations?
Are there any other nominations?
Seeing none, nominations are closed.
Seeing none, nominations are closed, and we will go to public comment.
Marie Rodriguez.
Welcome, Ms. Rodriguez.
You're good.
I just want to say that this is kind of a exciting first meeting in which somebody special to me isn't here. But I want to welcome JJ Phoenix for stepping up and filling the spot, because I have been attending these board meetings since Adam Mayberry and Beth Smith and Alex Woodley were brand new. And so I'm very excited for Christine Holt to be here because I live in your area. But like I said, I've been here from the very beginning. I remember when Angie Taylor was our president, and I knew those were big shoes to fill. And I've seen Beth Smith do an outstanding job. I have seen this board work together to bring so many wonderful changes to Washoe County schools. And even though my own child is grown, I have 3 grandchildren attending Washoe County schools. And in my job that I do, my 9 to 5, which isn't really 9 to 5, I do shift work, I have been to many of the schools in the course of my work. And I have seen the increased security from the hiring of extra school police, getting the school employees their long overdue wage increases. And I just want to say that together you guys have done a phenomenal job, and I think it'd be great to see Beth continue in that, and see all of you guys just keep doing what you're doing and keep doing the fantastic work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rodriguez.
Ilsa Tinnen.
Welcome, Ms. Tinnen.
Pardon my phone, I was writing after my teaching this afternoon. Hello, my name is Ilsa Tinnen. I am a 20-year teacher with Washoe County School District, and I am the proud parent of 2 middle-aged, not yet quite, sorry, middle school boys. They're middle school, not middle-aged yet. I would also like to welcome you, JJ. The last time I was speaking in front of the board, it was for the Reno Sparks Native Colony and their rezoning, so I'm very happy to see you on this board. I am here today to express my deepest appreciation and support for the incredible Beth Smith. For president, I recently received praise from you. As a result, I want to be here to express my how deeply honored I am, but I also want to make clear that the success is not mine alone. As Mr. Mayberry knows, I am fortunate to teach at Hidden Valley Elementary School, where our class sizes are unusually small. I am also at a school that houses the most highly qualified behavior specialists in Washoe County School District. This program is called the Pivot Program. This program provides additional supports such as an assistant principal, counselors, additional teachers, aides, and specialists, not just from within the school district, but resources outside of the district within the community. The new challenges in education require these types of supports. These are the new normals. This is happening at every elementary school across our district. Mrs. Smith understands this well, and I believe it's critical for those on this board to stay closely connected to the realities of the classroom and the everyday needs that are taking place. the work that is happening with the children and the teachers, that is where our hearts and our minds need to stay. Beth Smith's moral compass for our educational system prioritizes what is best for students and for teachers, such as these smaller class sizes, such as these pay increases, and the security and safety of our schools. The most targeted academic and behavioral supports are very important, as well as the highly qualified teachers. The future of Nevada is being shaped in our classrooms, and until society recognizes that schools cannot do it alone, we must continue to call on our school board for the action and the support that we need. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your ongoing commitment for our school and educators. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tenen. That was lovely. I really appreciate it.
Amanda Schlattler.
Welcome, Ms. Schlatter.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. School Board Trustees, President Smith, and Superintendent Ernst. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this afternoon. My name is Amanda Slatter, and I have been honored to serve as an employee of Washoe County School District for the past 17 years. I'm currently the principal of Matthews Elementary School. Over these years, I have witnessed the many challenges and triumphs that come with being such a part of a large institution. And I want to take a moment to commend the board for your laser-focused dedication to improving education for our students. Under the board's leadership, President Beth Smith, I have seen a renewed sense of hope for the future of our schools. Decisions being made at the board level are making a noticeable impact on the ground. Specifically, I would like to express my gratitude to President Beth Smith and Dr. Nicolette, who is my trustee at large, for their unwavering support of my school, my staff, and my community. So President Smith, you have gone above and beyond to support Matthews for what it needs. When I first raised concerns about the lack of a secure perimeter fence, both you and Dr. Nicolette listened and advocated passionately, not just for my school, but for the others that were facing similar challenges. That advocacy led to action, making our campus safer for everyone. Your leadership again shown when you visited my overcrowded 4th and 5th grade classrooms last school year. You saw firsthand the impact of a large class size, and you worked with your board to secure changes for title schools that rank 1 and 2 stars to help us with allocations. Because of your efforts, we were able to hire 2 new teachers mid-year, and the reduction in class size transformed our classrooms, allowing our teachers to teach more effectively. The result? Significant growth in our SBAC and our iReady scores. Proof of what focused resources can achieve. Additional supports that she provided me is information about grants to get a playground for my school. She buys books for my kindergartners every year. Above all, I want to commend President Smith for her exceptional leadership on this board. She embodies the strength, intelligence, and resilience of a woman who has earned her position. Thank you, President Smith.
Thank you so much, Principal Schlatter.
Kaylin Evans.
Welcome, President Evans. And I'm not sad that you're coming up, so I don't want this to
No,
come
I know these are cheers from you. Hi, my name is Kaylin Evans. I'm the president of the Washoe Education Association, and we represent all of the certified professionals in the Washoe County School District. I want to start off first by saying thank you, truly and genuinely, to all of you. Every time I have conversations with folks in the community and folks in our schools, the immense role that the Board of Trustees plays in the overarching success of not just our school district, but our community cannot be understated. It is why we feel so strongly about these positions, and just the role that you all play, again, cannot be understated. So thank you. Congratulations, JJ, on your position. And it's just so encouraging to see a group of folks on a board who genuinely care so much about our community. And on that, our leadership of this board, as an organization, we feel truly blessed to have the type of leaders that we have on this board. President Smith, you have continued to advocate above and beyond, and the work that you do does not go unnoticed by the community. Our leadership on this board is so crucial to navigate the dynamic of so many strong leaders in one room and get everybody to move in the same direction and make sure that voices are being heard and voices are being elevated and that nobody is, being drowned out is so crucial. And equally, Trustee Mayberry, thank you so much for your role as Vice President and your leadership. The team that you guys, how well you complement each other. It is just one of those things that I don't think we take for granted in Washoe County, unless you know how it is. If you know how it is in other school districts and other boards, some of the criticisms or critiques would go away if you had any idea. And I think understanding that is so important. So thank you, Trustee Mayberry, or Vice President Mayberry, and Beth, President Smith. And just on behalf of the association, we would love to see both of you remain in your roles. And we feel very confident on this board, whoever ends up taking that clerk position to kind of round out that leadership. We feel very strongly about all of you to fill that role. So thank you so much, not only as the president of this organization on behalf of our members, but also as a fellow educator and a parent of children in our school district. So thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, President Evans.
The board received emails from Meredith Ford, Chantal Lee, Colby Reardon, Michelle Will, Casey Edgington, and Nikki Capovilla.
So now would be the time for deliberation, or there's probably not a lot to deliberate, so maybe a motion.
I would like to make a motion. I move the Board of Trustees selects Beth Smith to serve as president of the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees for 2025.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Trustee Westlake, a second by Trustee Woodley, for myself to continue on in the role of president. And this is when we take discussion on the motion, and I do have something to say, and anyone is welcome to as well. From the outside in, or in looking at a word like chair or president, it's easy to misunderstand that that's a person that's here. But it's not if you're doing it the right way. It should look like this. So as you see in this moment right now, this role, I'm a steward of this role for now, in service to my 6 colleagues. No matter how the vote goes, it is my job to serve all of you, and it is a great honor to do this. Because in this role, in elevating everyone, and we are a fantastic group of different people, in doing this work, we serve our students, our families, our staff, and our community. This role has my whole heart. When I answered that question to former board president Melina Raymond, I meant it. I give this every part of my soul, the way that I give the other things that are deeply important to me, like being a wife and being a mother. And so it is with great honor that I accept this opportunity to continue to work for my colleagues, to be better every day, to show you that I can be better, will be better, and the way that we will all elevate each other, because when we are doing our best, we serve our children in the best way. and we protect and defend public education, not just for the children in our neighborhoods, but across the state of Nevada as well. And so I want to say thank you with absolute sincerity. I appreciate doing this work, and I am deeply grateful for the honor that you have shown me and the trust that you also have in me in this role. So thank you so much. Is your light on for the vote or for any other thoughts? No, okay, no, that's okay. All right, so we have a motion by Trustee Westlake and a second by Trustee Woodley. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries 7-0. Thank you so much, colleagues, and thank you so much to the public. I care about this. Most people see me sitting here very stoic, and I am that way a lot of the time, but I'm also a human too, and so thank you for filling up my bucket. It is something that I need sometimes as well, and I appreciate you lifting me up and giving me the encouragement to continue on in service to all of these fantastic people here, so thank you. All right, that closes item 2.01 and brings us now to item 2.02, board nominations and election of vice president of the Board of Trustees for 2025 from among the following: Christine Hull, Adam Mayberry, Diane Nicolette, Beth Smith, Colleen Westlake, Alex Woodley, and the newly appointed District C trustee. This is an item for possible action, and again, I will say this every single time, we do know that our new District C trustee is Trustee J.J. Phoenix. And so now I will open the floor for nominations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to nominate Adam Mayberry for Vice President.
I second.
Well, we have to, oh, wait, does Vice President Mayberry accept the nomination? I think it's a preview of what's to come.
Well, first, I want to become a brother too, by the way.
They were
But
fighting over there, Mike.
I know, I was stabbing him with a pen.
No, I'm honored and humbled and grateful for the opportunity to continue to serve as your vice president, if that's the will. Thank you.
I second my second.
JJ, do we have any public comment?
Marie Rodriguez.
Welcome, Ms. Rodriguez.
I want to say more than just ditto to what I said about Beth, because you guys do work so fantastically as a group. But Adam, I just know you have been so amazing in this role, and I have seen that you're a fantastic dad. The way you serve the community in your employment, and just the way that you've worked so well together. You and Beth, you're almost like, I don't know, it's just such a fantastic partnership of leading this group. It's like Beth was saying, she is serving, and you were like serving, all of you guys just serving together. And I think people forget that, is that when you have a position in public service, that's the word, service. Being a president isn't so much a leadership role. Being a vice president isn't so much a leadership. It's not like being a king and a queen or something like that. You are working for the schools. You are working for the students. You are working for the public. And it's a role of servitude. And you guys are just so gracious. You are so gracious in that role. And I have seen when Beth hasn't been able to be here, you stepping into that role and doing a phenomenal job in her absence. And I know you guys are all doing so much behind the scenes. I mean, I've been here, I've been to the meetings, I've seen you guys. I know that you've been down to legislature fighting on behalf of teacher salaries, all of you. And I just think that You're doing a great job. You should continue in this role. I want to see you continue doing the phenomenal work that you're doing. So I want to say thank you, and yes, let's keep at 'em.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rodriguez.
Kaylin Evans.
Welcome, President Evans.
Oh.
We good? Okay. Hi, sorry. For the record, again, my name is Kaylin Evans, President of the Washoe Education Association. I had mentioned a couple of things in my previous public comment, but I felt that it was really important to address specifically this position. Trustee Mayberry, on behalf of my members, again, thank you. The work and the leadership that you do within our district is second to none. You know, I talk to a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of folks in our school district all the time. We visit schools throughout the year, and I don't know how many times somebody has said and mentioned the visits that you've made and the time that you've spent going into schools, how many times you've reached out to me directly to say, hey, could you put me in touch with, you know, somebody in the vision department or somebody in the hearing department, because you want to hear directly from the folks who are being impacted and what that means to somebody that's in the trenches to have a trustee and have any of you reach out and want to speak directly to them and hear directly from them about the issues and the challenges that they face, and then go about. And I don't know how many times you reached out and said, hey, we've got this issue, and what do you guys have ideas, and what's going on? And it means so much to us as an organization and as a labor force to have a board of trustees who care so much about the people who serve our students. So we, again, would be thrilled to have you continue in this role, and we thank you for your commitment to the community.
Thank you, President Evans.
That's all I have for this item.
We'll bring it back to this board for a motion, but not before I give some flowers to Vice President Mayberry. We're like peas and carrots, and I am incredibly honored to do this job with you. Or peanut butter and jelly, depends if you don't prefer, starchy vegetables. But I really enjoy serving with you, and you complement the service of this board in ways that I could never properly express, but I know you know. And so for that, I say thank you, and I appreciate you accepting your nomination. And now we can have additional discussion, or we could make a motion.
Oh, I thought she had a slide on her. I could done it.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Board of Trustees select Adam Mayberry to serve as Vice President of the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees for 2025.
I second.
All right, we have a motion by Trustee Woodley and a second by Trustee Westlake for Vice President Mayberry to maintain as Vice President Mayberry. Is there any discussion on the motion? No? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries 7-0. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Well earned. All right, we move on now to item 2.03. These are board nominations and election of clerk of the Board of Trustees for 2025 from among the following: Christine Hull, Adam Mayberry, Diane Nicolette, Beth Smith, Colleen Westlake, Alex Woodley, and the newly appointed District C trustee for possible action. And if you haven't heard it the first 7 times I've said it, that is our new trustee, JJ Phoenix. It really is real. All right, so we will open it up now and open the floor for nominations. Trustee Hull.
I would like to nominate Alex Woodley, Trustee Woodley.
I accept the nomination. Thank you.
I'm going to throw my hat in the ring.
Very good. And so I assume that means you accept your nomination. All right, very good. All right, seeing no other lights on, nominations are closed. JJ, do we have any public comment for this item?
Marie Rodriguez.
Welcome. Welcome, Marie.
Well, I knew I wanted to comment on this, but I had no idea who would be there because the previous clerk is gone on to other things. And I would say either person would be exceptional because this entire Board of Trustees have been doing a phenomenal job. I can say just because of having professionally worked with him, I know Alex Woodley a little bit better. So I know that he would do a good job, a fantastic job. But I also know that Trustee Westlake has worked with you guys as well. I mean, and bringing about all these changes you both have. So I would say that it's too bad you can't co-clerk. But I would just say that you guys are ultimately going to make the decision, and I'm sure regardless of who you choose from among the two, either way you'll get a great clerk and still keep a phenomenal trustee. So good luck to both of you.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez.
That's all I have for this item.
All right, so what we can do here, since we have two nominations, is if there's any interest in having either of the trustees to take a moment as to what you may bring, or we can always, of course, go to a motion as well. I'll defer to what you would prefer.
Share my comments. So for me personally, I truly enjoy this board very much. I love working with all of you, and I do have a sense of calling of duty. So I would be honored and appreciative for the opportunity. I think I've have a relationship with all of you, and I do understand the role of the clerk to assist the president, the vice president, and also the rest of the trustees. I will commit to giving 100% of myself and do the best that I can in this role. And I promise to be 100% dedicated if I am selected. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no doubt of Trustee Woodley's heart where it's at, and I'm grateful that he'd be willing to step up and provide more service. I look at this as an opportunity to grow in my role as a trustee, and I think it's important to keep growing in the role of service, and I want to provide more service. Every decision that comes before me, I always put students first. I always think, how will this best serve students? Because if we're serving our students the best we can, it's going to serve everyone in the community, all of our district employees, because we're all going to be rowing in the same direction, and that is to improve the quality of education for our students and their outcomes, and to support them in the future of what they are passionate about. So I just see this as another opportunity really to serve even more, if that's possible, but I think there's always possibility to do more. And so I would be also very honored and grateful to expand my knowledge and to provide more service. Thank you.
Thank you. And something that I'll mention within the role of board president is that we obviously have fantastic people on this board, all of whom have incredible talents. So my commitment to you and to all of our colleagues is that there will be opportunities for everyone to serve and lead. And I am keenly aware that we finally have a fantastic group where everybody is going to be evolving into their leadership roles now and in the future. And so there will absolutely be opportunities for everyone, regardless of how this individual vote turns out. There is leadership and there is elevation that will occur for both of our candidates. Trustee Hull?
So something that I will always try to do is to first start with the foundational evidence. And for this, it would be our board policy, which shows what the clerk's role is. And so before I thought about Alex for this position, I went and looked at our amazing giant binder that we were provided and looked up our board policy. The clerk's role on the Board of Trustees is to diligently review the records of this body, ensuring accuracy and compliance with Nevada revised statutes. And you all know that I really like NRS, like a lot. I actually enjoy reading it. And while we are fortunate to have an incredible board services department, it is ultimately our responsibility as trustees to uphold the integrity of our processes. And the clerk must be an effective communicator, a collaborative leader, detail-oriented, and someone who can ensure our actions align with the law and best practices. And while I absolutely believe both of them can do a fantastic job at this, I know that Alex has shown those skills in many of his roles in our community, for our country, and in his previous roles in his jobs. And that is why I thought of him for this. He's an effective communicator. He has a commitment to our district. He values consensus and teamwork. I don't think you can be a Marine if you don't value that. I think that's like a rule just to even get out of like the first day. And I absolutely know that his volunteer service and dedication to our community helps him to know that how important that is. So while I absolutely believe both can do a fantastic job, that is why I thought of Alex for this position. So I just wanted to bring that to the table.
And so we would be open to a motion or further discussion.
Okay, I wasn't sure if someone else did. You should have gone into sales.
Well, I taught middle school. That's the same thing. My co-teacher is right there, and she can tell you that that's what we had to do every single day. So there's no other discussion. I can do a motion.
No.
Oh, you have discussion?
No, I have a motion.
Oh. Okay.
Don't be treading on my little right here. I'm going to compliment you, though, too.
Okay.
After I reprimanded you. Hearing what my fellow board member just had to say and the definition of the role of clerk, although I do think I could do a phenomenal job, yes. I have to say that fits Trustee Woodley to the T. So I move that the Board of Trustees selects Alex Woodley to serve as clerk of the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees for 2025.
Second, Christine Holt.
We have a motion by Trustee Westlake, and we have a second by Trustee Hall. And oh my gosh, do I just love all of you. You tell me what other governing body in Washoe County is hugging each other and loving on each other in the middle of all this. There is discussion on the motion, Vice President Mayberry.
There is discussion. It's brief for me. I just want to thank you for making that vote so easy, really, because I didn't want to have to vote, against anybody. Now, wouldn't have been my intent, but thank you for the collaboration and coming together over on that end of the aisle. Thank you.
I'm going to plus one onto that, and this is exactly why this board and this district has nothing but fantastic horizon to go towards. This is the way we operate. This is the way your governing body should operate in this community. This is what our children deserve. This is what our families deserve. This is what our staff deserves. And we model it from the start, and I am overwhelmed with pride for this group. Wonderful. Seeing no other lights on, we do have a motion by Trustee Westlake and a second by Trustee Hall. But we have additional.
No, okay. I was just waiting. I'm ready to vote.
We're ready to vote.
I'm ready.
So
let's do this.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries 7-0. Thank you so much, colleagues. Okay, so we're going to actually get up and take a photo and potentially reorganize. All right, everyone. So we'll bring it back here. And that closes item 2.03 and section 2 in its entirety. And brings us on now to section 3, our consent agenda items. Today we have before us items 3.02 to 3.18. I have not heard from any trustees about pulling any items, but I do understand there may be some comments on some of these individual items. Trustee Westlake?
Thank you. Let me pull it up because I can't remember all of it. Okay, thank you. I have a comment for agenda item 3.06. It's regarding Sierra Nevada construction for the track repair at Incline, and I just need to make this statement. Pursuant to NRS 281A.420, I am disclosing that my daughter-in-law is employed by SNC, Sierra Nevada Construction. However, my vote does not benefit her in any way different than it does anyone else affected by this item. And as a result, my independent judgment as a trustee is not affected, and I will be voting on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Westlake. I have a comment that I would like to make on item 3.07, and that is my appreciation for our school police and local law enforcement for the work that they are doing to bring justice for this matter. And so I am grateful to them. And just as a reminder, when anyone harms or commits theft against our school system, that affects our children. And so that is my comment there. Seeing no lights on for additional questions, JJ, do we have any public comments?
We do not.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, I will bring it back to this board. And so I am looking for a motion to approve items 3.02 to 3.18.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to approve that the Board of Trustees approves consent agenda items 3.02 through 3.18.
And I will second that motion.
All right, we have a motion by Clerk, I almost said it, a motion by Clerk Woodley, seconded by Vice President Mayberry. I know, a little bit of a robot right there. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries 7-0. Thank you so much, colleagues. That closes section 3 in its entirety and moves us on now to section 4. These are our items for presentation, discussion, information, and or action. And the first item that we open now is item 4.01. This is the public hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve the proposed change of location and change of use for Stead Elementary School in accordance with Administrative Regulation 7087 and Nevada Revised Statutes, Chapter 393, for possible action. We have before us our Chief Facilities Management Officer, Tammy Zimmerman.
Thank you, President Smith. Thank you for having me today. For the record, Tammy Zimmerman, Chief Facilities Management Officer. And I'm here to request the approval of the change of location and change of use for our Stead Elementary School, as outlined in the Admin Reg 2087. The proposed relocation is critical to addressing the needs of our communities in the North Valleys and to ensure that our staff and students are successful in their roles out there. Stead was prioritized as a priority 1 within our facility modernization program. And so we hit the ground running with that. We've designed it. We're actually constructing it on that property just a little bit south of the current school, about half a mile. The new Stead allows the district to strategically place that school within a community instead of on Stead Boulevard so that it can be accessed by those students a little bit more safely, where we'll bus them across Stead, but that's why that portion was chosen for it. If the relocation is approved, the existing Stead Elementary building on Stead Boulevard would be repurposed to district use or community partner use. And we're still in the process of trying to figure that out. But we have started the discussion, and we've been reaching out and discussing that with the City of Reno city manager, as well as leadership there. So we have been engaging those high-level community members to see what that is. We just have not defined it and determined for your information yet, right? The process reflects our commitment to transparency. So we did, within that admin reg and NRS, we did notice the staff and the families out at Stead Elementary on December 2nd and 3rd of 2024. And then we actually did put in the Reno Gazette-Journal, the noticing in there on December 9th. So we've followed that process, and so we're here to ask for the approval so we can move forward with the repurposing of the existing Stead and then making sure that we move those students to the new Stead. And as a caveat too, the zoning committee made no change to that enrollment zone for that, so we will be taking hopefully students that are in that enrollment zone, if you approve it, directly to that new school.
Very good. So at this time, I will open the public hearing on the proposed change of location and change of use for Stead Elementary School. And we will begin first by calling for public comment on the item.
I have no cards for this item.
Okay. Well, on that note, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to this board for any questions, deliberation, or potentially a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman. I support this, and you answered my question, so I apologize. I'm going to be redundant, but I just, for the record, want to just encourage staff to continue to work with, particularly the elected official in the city of Reno, where Stead is located. And you know, I trust that Trustee Nicolette and our new trustee Phoenix may want to be involved at some point, but you know, the intercooperation is obviously very critical. I know there's a lot of sensitivities in some respect out to North Valleys and the Reno representative, so I'm just mindful of that. Thank you for bringing that up in your comments.
So many of you know that I was the chair of the Zoning Advisory Committee until this last summer, and similar to President Smith's experience, my children also experienced severe overcrowding. And when WC1 was proposed, we were actively involved in that. And I just want to say thank you to you and your department and the entire community for ensuring that promises made were promises kept. This has been a long time in the making, and the community out in North Valleys really deserves this. So thank you for ensuring that they're going to get this incredible learning place for the entire community. So I just want to make sure that we're all really recognizing the hard work that is made possible by that WC1, and that now that we're done building new schools to deal with overcrowding, now we can really start working on that facility modernization plan. So I'm excited to see what is to come.
Welcome to the conversation, Trustee Phoenix.
JJ, for the record, thank you for that snapshot. And I really like what Adam had to say, that we're collaborating with the cause and effect of building a new building or anything like that that goes into the people that are in operations during the day that have to respond to all those types of things, because there's always that cause and effect that comes with it, and that you're collaborating with them. And I appreciate you mentioning that. That was my question. Thank you.
I'm ready to make a motion, Madam President. I move that the Board of Trustees approves the change of location and change of use for Stead Elementary School in accordance with Administrative Regulation 7087 and Nevada Revised Statute Chapter 393.
I second. Oh, dang it.
I will second that.
And in with his first second, we have a motion by Clerk Woodley and a second by Trustee Phoenix. Welcome to the motion. Seeing no lights on for discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carries 7-0. And the first one made by our newest trustee, Trustee Phoenix. Always good to start with a unanimous one. Thank you so much, Chief Zimmerman. We move on now to item 4.02, the presentation and discussion on the progress related to safety and belonging within school environments, including programs for physical and emotional safety, security, and connection. This is an item for presentation and discussion only, and we have before us and also in the audience our Chief Operating Officer, Adam Searcy, our Chief of School Police, Tracy Moore, our Chief Student and Family Supports Officer, Dr. Paul Lamarca, and our chair of the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, Natalie Sanchez.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Searcy. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the school district. Welcome, everyone. This is a great afternoon with you all, and 2025 is off to a great start. I'm going to allow everyone else to introduce this large topic as we proceed through, but just to kind of kick it off on the first slide here, again, reiterating safety and belonging. This is such a large topic that it encompasses not only our goal 3, but also our BEAM as we know it, safety and well-being. It's a broad topic that not only includes everyone that you'll see here, but everyone who lives and works in our schools. Our community, our students, our staff are all really a part of making any and all of these initiatives successful. It's also a topic that we often speak in terms of continuous improvement and layers of impact. So we're going to highlight a few elements that have improved or evolved in the last 24 months. I was here about 24 months ago with our prior Chief Jason Trevino, giving a similar presentation on the state of affairs. And here is healthy to come back and recognize the continuous improvement and the additional layers that we strive to incorporate in all of our schools. So this next slide focuses on school facilities. I oversee school facilities and help with that work. And for years, we worked to achieve secure perimeters and single points of entry at all of our elementary and middle schools. And then throughout 2022 and 2023, we heard from the board repeated questions of, hey, when might we be able to do this at our high schools? So in late 2023, we took this conversation to the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, developed a conceptual design. They actually recommended we proceed with several schools on like a pilot program. We took that to that conversation to the board in November 2023 and spent most of 2024 designing and actually constructing these. So without further ado, I've got a 90-second video that tells the story of what we did in 2024 much better than I could. Trust me, it's much better than listening to me talk.
This year, Washoe County School District had pilot projects for single point of entry at McQueen, Sparks, and Damani Ranch High Schools. This project was recommended by the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission and approved by the Board of Trustees. Funding for these projects is from the fiscal year 2024 Capital Renewal Program. The district has retrofitted all of our middle and elementary schools to include safety features, and our newer schools included these features in their designs. For the work at our high schools, WCSD Facilities worked closely with academic administration, school police, and school site administrators to make these important changes.
Hello, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm here for a meeting with the school counselor.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and buzz you in.
The creation of a single point of entry includes securing a vestibule, which includes doors, window safety glazing, closed-circuit television, CCTV cameras, and monitors for staff viewing. The designs have shifted the travel patterns, and we engaged with staff, community, and most importantly, student voice members to plan for these changes. Now that we have nearly completed the single point of entry projects at McQueen, Sparks, and Damani Ranch High Schools, we are planning similar projects at the remaining high schools. As always, keeping students and staff safe is a top priority at the Washoe County School District.
Thanks, JJ. You heard a couple of times in there mentions of collaboration with school administrators, school police, students. Again, it's only as effective as the acceptance and adoption of the people that actually use it. So we've learned from these projects. We've debriefed and incorporated lessons learned into our design. Our facilities team presented to the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission just last December on the next round of these types of projects. And as the video mentioned, we're planning to incorporate additional improvements to schools in 2025 and 2026. So just another bit about that security film. I can't help, these videos are actually really outstanding. Not to be outdone, we often talk about hardening when we talk about our school facilities, and it's really a difficult balance between that sentiment of hardening and actually creating an atmosphere of welcoming. And I think that this film, very effective, expeditious, and cost-effective to install, strikes that balance. JJ, if you could, another 90-second video, please.
The project behind us is the window film project. We did 33 schools this summer to add window film coverings to any of the open glass areas. We do that mainly as a security issue. That keeps the looky-loos and anybody from being able to look from a public area into where the students are. It was a pretty quick one. Obviously, a lot of work was done by Graphics Unlimited ahead of time to get those designs approved. At that point, it's basically just printing them off and more or less peel and sticking onto the windows. So they were doing multiple schools a day.
Thanks, JJ. So just another couple points. The first slide mentioned how our newest schools have these modern security elements designed into them. All of you are likely familiar with our facility modernization plan, which is well underway. Critical modern security features will be incorporated as standard elements into all these projects. So when you saw the picture of Reed High School, and you're likely aware we're far into design of Reed, secure perimeter and single point of entry at Reed, and many other schools that are forthcoming through the FMP will have these features incorporated into them. And then last but not least, the capital renewal program, constantly maintaining what we have and making smaller scale improvements. That's where you see even more engagement with our community partners. Little stuff, signage, minor stuff that might seem minor, but these are still efforts of continuous improvement and really where we fund a lot of our work that Chief Moore is going to tell you a little bit about on the next several slides. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Tracy Moore, your Chief of Police for Record, President Smith, Trustees, and Superintendent Ernst. Get the mic over here and help you so you guys can hear my voice. I do apologize that I cough. I'm recovering from that lovely flu during our break. So this is a project that was invested in previous leadership upon my arrival. I do have to speak on the behalf that this has been a very smart investment for the school district. This is a crisis alert system commonly known as Centegix. And as I look around, I see you all with your Centegix badge, and you make my day. Just a little bit of information on this. It's a network that covers every square foot of a district facility or building. It has the ability to know your specific location and provide emergency responders information necessary to respond to it. Now, keep in mind, the response time I say is when you activate that button, that activates emergency responders. Make sure I get that one up there slide. A single button activation alerts school police and administrators immediately of an I need help incident. It displays on a map of who needs help and where they are located on the campus. Or now I say district properties because this is on every district property that we own. So it goes to every staff, every teacher. Staff can instantly initiate a campus-wide response to emergency types that these types of alerts go directly to school police and school police dispatch and administrators. Now I say it goes directly to, it goes to our dispatch center who gets alert. My phone is in here that I will get that on my mobile device, will show me which school site is, where it is, and what type of emergency we're looking at. At the school site, it activates a full audio and visual communication campus-wide so that everyone knows the campus is under threat and they can take safety actions as necessary. We have not had that ability before. And once again, I go back to a second. It takes 1 second to put that school into the safety measure that we need to take. And like I say, another key piece here is getting our school police dispatch involved in that situation. So they get the alert, they can send their appropriate resources in a very prompt manner. So some statistics for you on this one. So far, as of December of 24, the start of this school year, we've conducted over 154 drills. We've actually had 28 incidents. That's 2 evacuations, 16 lockdowns, and 10 secured campus. This goes to show you that the staff are confident and comfortable in that equipment. They trust it. They know it's going to work. Allows us to also keep better tracking of these incidents in the data. So we're able to categorize what kind of events are happening in our school. And this helps us build a foundation of what necessary measures do we need to try to mitigate and provide better response to these types of emergencies. Some success stories. The first one up here, we had a middle school where an unknown subject was on the telephone with our dispatch center making threats towards this specific target. Listen to those audio recordings. It was very specific and disturbing. While the dispatcher's on the phone, she's able to hit a button and put that school in a lockdown. So we're talking previous technology, it would have been at a minimum 2 minutes to get that school in the lockdown. So meanwhile, while the dispatcher's still on the phone, is able to lock that school down. We had a high school incident where there's an altercation that occurred off the property. A weapon was presented during this altercation and then moved on to the high school campus. This goes to show you the system. We receive multiple threats from multiple staff members. When we get that kind of notification, that is showing that there is a credible threat on that property. So the campus was immediately, once again, put into a lockdown during a lunchtime period. That's challenging, but you need rapid response, and that's what we got. In the elementary school, they felt the earthquake that was in Northern California. They did the right thing. They looked at an emergency operation plan. They evacuated this school. And the key thing that they used on there, too, was they used their police radio to identify us that, yes, we are evacuating, and this is our situational update. Leads into my next one.
If you don't mind, Chief, I'm going to
Yes.
jump in back on that
Yep.
previous slide. I just think Centegix is a fantastic decision. We've had community members reach out to us over the years and said, what are we doing to respond as quickly as possible? And in any emergency, every second counts. So to know that we could be in an active situation that we traditionally had to wait to be over and then could take up to 2 minutes later, but instead be able to act in that moment shows our families and our students and our staff that our team is ready to act immediately because, again, every second counts. And so I appreciate having technology, safety technology, that prioritizes the security of our buildings. And so I just think this is wonderful, and thank you so much for those examples.
Thank you, President Smith. Moving on to our next one, we kind of move into this next one is communication. During any critical incident, communication is key. As you look at action plans in the past from events, communication is a common component that is a failure during a critical incident. We take this matter serious. We have added 75 sites, now have 450 Midland radios, and I'm going to tell you difference of radios. So the schools can use a radio that these 450 sites, radios can get very expensive. In the public safety sector, which a school district is a partner with this, with Washoe County and state, this radio I have right here, everybody's is upgrading that throughout the district. It is very costly technology, but schools use the same radio I have on my hip to communicate directly to school police, and that's critical during an emergency event. We have known historically that communication with multiple agencies, we all need to be able just to turn a knob and talk to each other. That's what's a critical component. Some schools, it's expensive and try to justify that cost. Just alone, this radio I have in front of you is $1,600. That's our contract price. It normally costs $6,000. The Midland radios of the 450, they're $100 a piece. This radio costs the district about $322 per year. That's every bus, every police car, every custodian on the ground. If you're on the public safety system, it's very robust, and it's worth every dime we spend on it, every penny. The Midland radios now allow 450 other people to have technology to communicate. That radio does not cost us $322 a year. It costs us $100 to buy it, and the school feedback is, thank you for the increased technology capabilities. Another step that we've taken is to get to the national standards of emergency processes. As you know, when it becomes to outside agency assisting, we all want to be talking the same language. We've updated our emergency plan. It's no longer a code red. It's known as a lockdown. And then we switched from a code yellow to now a secured campus. So that also not only meets the federal language change that they're making the suggestions, but it's also a clear message to our parents. A next investment that we've made into is a visitor management system. This is known as Raptor. You will start seeing that in your school sites. We've rolled this technology out to every school facility. It's a big project. Our emergency manager, Roy, has done a stellar job of creating on-demand training for all the staff to activate this system and to learn how to use it. There's some benefits to this ability that we haven't had in the past before. Raptor uses the advanced ID scanning technology to verify visitors' identities. When a visitor's ID is scanned, it goes into a database, and we're checking to make sure if they're not in the National Sex Offender Registry, custom database that also shows us child custody orders or banned visitors from the property. If a match is found, that message is immediately sent to the school, and the school is notified this person is not authorized to be in our property. It also creates a log, so now we have a record of who's visiting the schools, at what time, and a visual aid of what this person looks like. And I'm going to pass the clicker over to Dr. LaMarca next.
Welcome, Chair Sanchez.
Welcome, thank you. Good afternoon to the board and to the superintendent. My name is Natalie Sanchez. I am the chair of the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, and I am excited today to see you all, to give you a little bit of a review of what we've been working on. So the first item that we have looked at was e-cigarettes, was vaping. And we first looked at this in the fall of 2023. The board asked that we look into this item and look at vape detection and provide some input. So we looked at this issue during 3 separate meetings. We began with a presentation by a vendor on vape detection, and then we received a presentation exploring research related to substance use prevention, including vape detection. And then in June, we received a presentation from counseling regarding their recommended approach to vaping. Our recommendation is focused on substance use prevention more generally, and so we are recommending a revision to existing district policy and adding some professional learning for key staff and education for students. We did consider vape detection as a strategy in a multi-layered approach and believe it can be effective so long as prevention components and support components are in place as well. So one of the things we were really concerned about was that vape detection in the presentation we received has a significant physical impact, and the unknown burden for the system in terms of maintenance, what this really looks like, what would need to happen. So as a commission, we heard and understood the impact of vape must be addressed, and from multiple sources and experts on the commission, we really came to this idea of starting this multi-layered approach and really starting with substance abuse prevention. The second item, mental health professional learning. So this came out of acknowledging that there are several risk factors that contribute to academic and social development. For instance, we know there are a variety of circumstances affecting families that are largely out of control of the district, and that many contribute to student stress, substance use, depression, thoughts of suicide, and declining academic engagement. Because of this, and because of the availability of some worthwhile professional learning opportunities, the Commission has recommended that the district administration widely market these opportunities. These are through the Office of Suicide Prevention, Youth Mental Health, First Aid, and Project Stay, to market these to employee groups with focuses on coaches and aides, and also to include teachers and administrators. This also comes from the idea that so many of our students speak of who is going to be that trusted adult, who's going to be that person that they speak to, who's going to be the person that makes a difference, and oftentimes that is a coach, that is a volunteer. And so making some of these programs available and I think supporting them as a district can really make a big difference. The third is we have had presentations from the Phone Away and Learn Today pilot from Deputy McMaster, and this was outstanding. And really it's the idea that smartphones are here to stay, right? And so how do we help our students really understand the impact of the phone and also learn developmentally appropriate ways to stay away from the phone? So as I was sitting out here, I had to look at my phone. And, one of the things that we're helping students do is learn how to regulate themselves, right? And so one of the ways to do that is with learning. And the the Phone Away, Learn Away pilot really gives, I think, a concrete way for teachers to be able to access that information and disseminate that to students. And also, I think, get student involvement and engagement. We didn't have a specific recommendation for us. We were just pretty enthusiastic about it, so.
Thank you so much, Chair Sanchez. A couple questions, possibly for Dr. LaMarca or you. Very interested in these board policy recommendations. When will that come to this board, or what's the mechanism for those ideas to come forward? Since, by the way, this is not an item for action.
Thank you for the question. For the record, Paul LaMarca, Chief Student Family Supports Officer. When I say we, I should say Catherine Loudon, her team, Cindy Knowles, have been working on the revision to the policy. The policy that existed, I think, was 5250, really was very vague with regard to vapes or e-cigarettes, and so there's very explicit language in there now that addresses that very concretely. It also ties together the types of discipline that may affect a student. So it draws alignment with this policy, with the student behavior policy and the behavior manual. And then, as Chairman Sanchez mentioned, it does try to really emphasize the need for a layered preventative approach. It also has detection and consequence, clearly. But it looks very strongly at professional learning, capacity building for our educators, and education dissemination for students and families. We are close. I've looked at a couple of revisions. We've gone back and forth, and so I'm optimistic that within the next couple of months it'll be before you as a draft.
Thank you so much. Trustee Westlake.
Thank you, President Smith. Hi, you guys. Welcome. So I actually have a couple of comments, and then if there could be feedback on that, but I'm going to separate them out because one is on the e-cigarettes and vaping. Are we going to make sure that we stress consistency across the board with all of our teachers, because we want to get the boat down the stream as fast as possible, and the only way to do that is if we're rowing together. So if we've got some teachers and administrators thinking, this isn't really, what's the big deal? To me, it's so important that we continually talk about social, emotional health and well-being of our kids. It has to include their physical well-being and things that can severely harm them and impact them later. I mean, cancer, COPD, you name it. So I have to state and ask if we're on that same page, that we have to insist on consistency, that everyone realizes how important this is and makes it easy on everyone else. Because if we've got 70% consistency, but 30% really isn't going to get on board, it just makes it that much harder on the 70%. So that's my first thing.
Thank you for the question, Paul LaMarca again. I have not yet met an educator in our district, a teacher, a principal, anyone, who doesn't think that this is a critical issue that needs to be addressed. Mm-hmm. So I do think with this revised policy structure, and then really getting out there with a plan to help students make better choices and also have consequences and other things when they make mistakes or poor choices, I don't see a problem with people getting on board. As we know, we've got a couple of schools that have been doing their own pilots of some vape detection, and that's a mixed bag. It can be a part of a comprehensive strategy as a standalone. At least the research that we reviewed and the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission reviewed Results are equivocal. Kids are very smart. They know how to kind of evade things. So it's really got to be a multi-pronged approach where we're providing alternatives, education, reasons to be connected to your school, and then if you choose to make poor choices, then there are consequences. I think everyone will row in the same direction.
Okay. Thank you. That makes me feel really good, because we have to advocate for their health, and it is going to come down to a burden on society, these health issues, if we don't advocate strongly for their well-being. The second one, same kind of thing about everybody being on the same page, the acknowledgement of the phone away learned today. So all teachers being on the same page, so it's not like, oh, Mr. Smith is my buddy, he lets us have our phones, and then Mrs. Anderson, what the heck is she thinking? She's so mean, not letting us have the phone. So there's that. I'm sure we're going to all try and be on the same page there. But also just, can we go over, in the case of an emergency, a lockdown? I don't want any of our parents feeling anxiety, and I've seen some emails coming across where they're anxious. I want to be able to get a hold of my child in an emergency, and now they're not going to have their phone. And I think there's some individuals out there, and there's probably a lot more that aren't being vocal about it. Can we go over what happens in an emergency, and if all the kids are on their phone, what kind of a problem that would create in an emergency situation, and what steps there will be to make sure the parents are informed and the children what steps are in place to eventually allow the kids to be able to communicate with their parents? Thank you. I know that's a lot. Sorry.
Well, hopefully we'll answer this for you in the best way we can. Tracy Moore, your Chief of Police. So when it comes to the use of the cell phone with the Phone Away Learn Today program, a child is not going to be denied access to that phone to communicate to a parent if safe to do so. That is the key thing. Another thing that we still do, and it's communication is key, is working closely with the school administrator and the law enforcement world. We notify our communications department to send that message as quickly as we can, as informative as we can about the situation. So yes, there are going to be access to that phone during emergency events to talk to parents. I know there's other apps out there that allow you to check in with your child during an emergency. We certainly don't want to take away that communication piece and cause a great amount of anxiety to parents. I too have that app with my kids, and I will assure you I will be checking to make sure they're accounted for. That's the technology that exists nowadays. But seriously, it's a good partnership with our communications department to share that message, and with you all too, that when it is safe to do so, we want to send that message to the parents in our community.
Thank you. I hope people out there are listening. Thank you.
Welcome. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I do have a follow-up with President Smith's excitement about the board policy. I absolutely agree we need to look at that again. And then I believe there needs to be follow-up with the administrative regulation and how the daily operation looks of that. So what were the conversations with the Safe and Healthy School Commissioners about what they felt was needed to shore up or improve the board policy?
In particular, surrounding the use of vaping and being really clear just to what Trustee Westlake was saying, having consistency in terms of consequences, having just a really clear sense of these are the things that have been implemented and introduced to the student body, such as education. This is the key staff who's involved with disseminating that information. And then here's how, as a district, we're going to address vaping as a whole.
Thank you for that, and I hope the commissioners will still continue to look at that, because this is truly very important, and I'm glad it's on your to-do list. When we look at a guide for comprehensive prevention, and I'm looking at the mental health professional learning, I didn't hear, and I get it, mental health professional learning, I didn't hear anything about families and parents being involved in that opportunity to learn.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Trustee Nicolette. The idea behind this was that we came across as a commission just some really outstanding and exciting free resources and things that could be provided by community partners that would speak to, I think, first coaches and volunteers, and then certainly I think it could be made available in a larger sense. As a commission, one of the things that we've tried to do is we've tried to partner with the communications department, and we're making some videos and making kind of a more of a foundational base so that folks can look for some of those opportunities online as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, and good luck. Go get it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is such a huge topic, and I'm grateful that all of you are so engaged. My question is about vaping as well. So and I apologize if it's been said already, and maybe I've missed it. Vape detection. So is that still on the table or not?
It is something as a commission, I believe that it's still on the table, but we really focused on these other ideas to revise the board policy first in terms of looking at e-cigarette use and adding vaping to that, and then leaving it to your discretion as a board of trustees. If you feel like that's something you'd like us to continue to look at, we're happy as a commission to continue to do so.
Yeah, just as one board member, I am a fan of the vape detection devices. It sounds like they're a bit pricey. I know I had talking with the principal at AACT. There's detections there. They work. So I'll leave that with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And staying on that, one of the things that we're committed to is recognizing the challenges and the obstacles that we have. Now, admittedly, I don't know as of today, January 14th, how many bathrooms remain locked in high schools, but we have heard very regularly over the years, which is why our board asked the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission to take a look at vaping bathroom safety. Because we know from our students and from our families that they don't feel comfortable using the bathroom. Those old design bathrooms, the doors close, and I understand why. So this is not a criticism of why the bathrooms get locked, but team, we've got to solve something when the current best plan is locking those bathrooms. And again, I don't know if they are locked as frequently as they used to now, but we have to acknowledge that our students also need access to a bathroom that they feel safe in. Now, cue the fantastic redesigns of bathrooms. Now, that's not something we can do in all of these older schools, but that's exactly why we originally designed those bathrooms, and then we've heard such positive feedback. So, again, as one trustee, I would encourage that the commission, even if there is a fiscal note, we're more than happy to help make those decisions as part of the budgetary process. And then we also have access to different funding for capital improvements. But we have to acknowledge that this still remains an area where our students and families are saying that they don't either feel safe in, or there's vaping that's happening and they're not comfortable. So we have to solve this in a way that is not necessarily restricting access or as frequently as restricting access to bathrooms. So that's more of a statement and just one individual opinion. On the youth mental health, so I originally had the question, can we make this mandatory? From there, I went back and actually read the minutes from the Safe and Healthy Schools. I read my own answer. I immediately understood that there are reasons why mandatory training is maybe not the initial first step. But in all the materials that I did receive at the request, I am very impressed. I would encourage everyone to go back and re-watch your meetings, which are also recorded, because there was great conversation there. Also, as one trustee, I would very much like to see if the district could take advantage of some of these grants. I agree with not mandating it at the start, because we ask a lot of our coaches, but we have to acknowledge that children express themselves with different safe people in their lives. And the relationships they may have with a coach is very different than they might have with some of their educators who are grading them, or even other people in their lives. So I, again, as one trustee, would very much like us to explore, if we can, these grants, this incentivized approach for coaching. I understand some of these are maybe one or multiple days. I do see some examples of some that are shorter. So I really do hope that we take a step forward with preparing our coaches and volunteers with mental health awareness so that they can be on the front lines of keeping our children safe and, quite frankly, alive in some cases.
I just want to comment to that, Natalie Sanchez, for the record. Thank you for that, President Smith, because that is something that is so important and near and dear to our hearts on the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, that it really is so impactful to have one adult. It's a one trusted adult, and whether it is, you know, your teacher, whether it is somebody in the hallway, whether it's staff, but oftentimes it is a coach. And I'm just so excited to hear of a trustee's passion for that too, because we are really excited about the possibility of offering some of those things.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam President. I just want to express my gratitude to all four of you. I really appreciate this multifaceted approach to safety. When you hear safety, you don't think of all the different factors, but I love it. Emotional, physical, mental health. This is amazing. Thank you. And like you said, Mr. Searcy, even those improvements that might seem minor, they all add up. So thank you to all four of you. Appreciate it.
May we proceed? Okay. Just a couple more slides, and we would like to highlight some of the other things we do. In the very beginning, Adam talked about, we're just highlighting some of the things we do, not all of the things we do. And thank you again, really from the bottom of my heart, for all the budget work last year, because that made much of this possible. So some of the things we want to highlight for you today, the expansion of athletics in 6th grade. So what we're talking about now really is how we're connecting kids, because all this stuff works together. So this training and these kinds of things are really critically important, but we need to make things relevant for students so that they want to be at our schools. So the expansion of 6th grade athletics is a wonderful thing. We have boys and girls soccer and cross country in the fall. In February, we'll start with volleyball and wrestling, and then in the spring, we will have boys and girls basketball, as well as track and field. So it's just great, and it's anecdotal at this point, but the kids are loving it, and so this is a really good thing. Very similarly, as you know, and we will talk more about this in the next month with some of the planned presentations, but there is a significant effort to expand clubs and activities, and this is across the board. We've been focusing primarily at the secondary level. But one of the great things that we did, we advocated for last year, but then Mark and his team, Kevin Pick, they made it possible through negotiation with WEA. We've got expanded slot pay, and we got expanded slots. And that is stipends for teachers and other educators and even volunteers who will take significant amount of their own time to support students in some sort of an interest of theirs. I will tell you that we're kind of, most of the work this fall has been sort of infrastructure, building an ability in Infinite Campus to track what's going on. We've already seen nearly a twofold increase in activities at the high school level. And some of the types of clubs are really cool. There's an ASL club. There's a club of students who are investigating UFOs. There's just a whole bunch of things. There's crochet. I didn't know that was still a thing. It's apparently still a thing. So it's great because it's the kids' interests that are driving these things. And so thank you to our educators for doing that. And again, there will be more on that. Volunteer services. You want to make a child feel welcome? Make their family feel welcome and make their family be a partner in their education. This work in the fall has been very technical. We are at the end stages, though, of procuring a volunteer management system, which seems just kind of bureaucratic, but it's actually critical. It'll enable our principals to be able to say exactly what they need, when they need it, who's available so that they can deploy volunteers. We've also been working very closely with Doug Owen and Mark Mathers to really try to make more efficient the process of becoming a volunteer. So great progress in that regard. We always promote connection. We've heard it already, the importance of a trusted adult. We have lots of activities that we provide to schools. We'll coach them anytime they want on connectedness activities. And Laura Davidson, through her leadership, and Mr. Stark, they've created some additional predictive tools within our data systems that help us identify students who we need to take a second look, make sure they're connected, and that's critically important. Suicide prevention, as you know, we do a great job with suicide prevention, so we do a great job, grades 6 through 8 and into high school, with signs of suicide. That's a curriculum. We also do screening for every 7th grade student where a parent signs permission. It's very expensive, and we only have 1 grade level. But it is a best practice. It's very important to do. And this is an avenue through which we're able to identify students who are telling us they don't have a trusted adult. It gives us actionable information. So that's an effort that you helped us get into general fund, very important. School social workers and mental health professionals, as you know, for several years, we've been trying to embed more and more staff within our buildings that can meet the needs of students. We have many of our high schools have mental health professionals, many of our middle schools have social workers, and several of our elementary schools do as well. We also have safe school professionals embedded throughout. And then finally, on this slide, we can't do this alone. And in fact, my favorite pillar is Pillar B, and that's partnering with families and community and strengthening those partnerships. And so we have co-located services in many of our buildings, probably 30 of our buildings, probably more buildings than I realize. Those are just coming out of our office. These are around behavioral supports, mental health supports, and so this is a great thing. So you probably have some more questions, but just to wrap it up, thank you for this opportunity. As Adam opened up, safety is such a huge topic, so we've tried to present you some of the things that we're doing sort of to support physical health and safety, but also emotional health and safety, and building that sense of connection. There are definitely some takeaways for us. We can always get better, so we commit to you to always get better. I wanted to say this, and I forgot. We have a very diverse student population, so it requires a diversity of strategies, well thought out strategies. You just don't throw everything at the wall, but we can't solve everything with one thing. There is no silver bullet out there. And then finally, again, we're a community, and we're stronger as a community because of the strength of our school district, but our school district is stronger because of our community, and that may be cliche, but we can't do this without our partnerships. So thank you to all of our community partners. And I'm sure we would all be willing to answer questions.
Well, first you're going to have to take a little bit of praise, because Dr. LaMarca, your energy when you talk about this is just, it's incredible. And I've known you for a very long time. This is such a special moment, you know, in creating the safety and belonging beam. It's not just safety. And it is so easy to think about safety in maybe like a 1 or a 2 dimension sense, but it is so many other things. And I appreciate you sharing all the new things that are happening in this district to lead to true belonging and representation in terms of interests in so many ways. It is my sincere hope, and I believe this is what I've heard, that with recent budgetary decisions, advocacy among executive leadership, and other things, these are not just things that we care about or talk about, but these are things that are really happening in our schools today, and I am so incredibly impressed by this. Your team has run head on into embracing this in all the different dimensions of it. And I am thrilled that we now have everything from crochet. There was a recent news article about a knitting club, a UFO club. I've heard of world languages, and that is amazing because there should be activities and clubs that reflect all the different dimensions of our students, and that keeps them close and strong into their future. So I just want to say great work, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's very nice. And I think, well, he left. Mr. Turner is somewhere around. Dr. Turner, we need to squeeze his arm because the kids want to have gaming and they want to play. They want to have tournaments across schools. We got to make that happen. No Grand Theft Auto. No Grand Theft Auto. But, you know, maybe mine.
Thank you. I also want to say thank you. And I've been saying, and my fellow trustees know I've been saying it for at least 6 months, half a year, 2025 is going to be exceptional. I'm just going to go down as saying it because we have some of the smartest, most intelligent individuals, these three men up here, and others working to do the best things for our kids. And they have some exceptional expertise in their fields and the knowledge that they're bringing. And I'm hoping our community gets behind us. Please get behind us because it's going to be a fast ride. I mean, we are going to skyrocket. So anyone who wants to jump on board and help out, now is the time. Now is the time to get your e-ticket and get on board because we're going places. So thank you very much.
I love the Disney reference there too, and the Babe Ruth shot call for 2025. Vice President Mayberry.
Thank you, Madam President. I had some questions at the very beginning. I thought I'd hold them. These are just clarifying questions. One thing really near and dear to my heart is that single point access. So it sounds like we're really, by my count, we're down to about 3 high schools without single point access. Spanish Springs High School, Reed High, Galena. Is that correct? And it sounds like there's a timeline on that for perhaps next year or maybe this year?
Yeah, a couple more than that. We'll count Reno, Worcester,
okay.
As well as AACT Innovations, Inspire. All of them are in the queue and on schedule for either a 2025 start or a 2026 start.
Okay.
You might be familiar with that Damani Ranch one. It's a little bit more expeditious to actually complete. By my count, North Valley, Spanish Springs, and Galena, possibly also some of the smaller ones, AACT Innovations and Inspire, are on track to begin construction as soon as summer 2025.
Okay, wonderful. That's awesome. The window peels you talked about, so you can't see in, but you can see out. Is that correct? Is that how that works?
Pretty much, exactly.
Okay.
You see those applications on vehicles and lots of other places. It's pretty effective.
And then the Syntex, I know I saw a news report, and we get, as a board, we get sort of pinged when there's an incident. It seems like there's an unusually large amount of accidental clicks, which is surprising to me because they're hard to push.
So, Tracy Moore for the record for you. Syntegics, there's a learning curve. It's a new technology. People learn how it is, but I do have to say you got to take a positive from a negative, right? So you did have these false activations, but just goes to show you that this system is reliable. It does work. Is it an accident? It certainly is, and we learn from that.
Sure.
But I always try to take that positive from a negative. That
Yeah,
it was an activation.
It's not intended to be a criticism at all.
No, not so much.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that analogy.
So we learn. Don't set your binder or your lunchbox down to your Syntegics bags. Please have that on your person because it works. It works, and we'll know it's you and where you work.
I want to say too, Trustee Woodley stepped out, but I don't think he realized that we appointed him the counselor, or the guidance for the knitting club. The knitting club. Yeah. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much to all three of you. Thank you so much to Chair Sanchez. It was great hearing from you. Your commission will also see one or multiple of us soon expressing our gratitude ourselves as well, but please take that back, that we're incredibly indebted to the work that you do. We cannot do this alone, and we are much better upon hearing from you, so thank you so much. Thank all three of you. All right, team, that closes item 4.02, and it is the perfect opportunity for us to take a break. So we will go ahead and take approximately a 10 to a 15-minute break and then reconvene and open potentially with item 4.03 or possibly reports. Thank you so much. right, everyone. I think we are ready to get going here. All right, it is 4:20 p.m. on this Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, and I would like to call back to order this regular meeting of the Washoe County School District Board of Trustees. Prior to the break, we had just concluded item 4.02, and now we open with item 4.03, the presentation and announcement of the winners of the Washoe County School District Phone Away and Learn Today campaign public service announcement. This is an item for presentation and discussion only, and we have with us today our Deputy Superintendent, Tiffany McMaster, and our Chief of Communications and Community Engagement Officer, Michelle Anderson.
Good afternoon, President Smith, members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Ernst. Thank you for having us here.
My name is Michelle Anderson, Chief Communications, Community Engagement Officer.
To begin today, we are just reminding you that this is all about our Phone Away and Learn Today campaign that launched on January 6th. We will be planning to come back to this board in the spring to provide you with an update on that pilot, but today is really about a celebratory update about some of the work that our students are doing. On the screen, you will see that we have the 6 goals that really have been guiding our work thus far, and this presentation is really rooted in Goal 1, acknowledging that students are a key stakeholder in this process and had ample opportunity to provide input, and we value their voice. It's also rooted in goal number 3, because we know that our students are powerful partners in influencing their peers. And in our communication plan, we knew that the voice of students would have to be an integral part of that, so that students could be listening to other students to try to change some of those habits and really pull from the strengths of their peers. Today we honor the voices by showcasing the work of some incredible student leaders in our district. So with that, it's a very exciting day. I'll pass it off to Michelle Anderson.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. So the campaign, as Deputy McMaster stated, really is amplifying the work of our teachers, principals, and our associate chiefs, what they've been doing all year long. Purpose of the contest were for our students to use their voice and create an original video or a digital poster to deliver information about the positive learning impacts when phones are put away and not a distraction during instructional time. The campaign was open to all WCSD elementary, middle, and high school students, and it opened on October 3rd and closed on November 8th. Winning entries will be featured on the district's website and social media channels, along with the school's websites and social media as appropriate. As you can imagine, this was not an easy decision. We had so many creative entries, but we narrowed it down to a mix of videos and digital artwork. So without further ado, let's celebrate our 5 winning entries. All students with the winning entries that are here, please stay seated until the end of the presentation so we can recognize you and have photos taken. And I do want to say a caveat. We do have a couple students and principals who were unable to be here, but we are still going to acknowledge them because their work and the care that they put into this campaign is essential for us.
It is my honor to start us off with the winners, and the first winning student comes out of Incline Middle School. This acknowledgement goes to Isabella Buscana Fernandez. The submission will put a smile on all of your faces while keeping the important message in our forefront. This public service announcement is actually provided in both English and Spanish for our dissemination. Isabella is part of the Incline Middle School small team of broadcast students who deserve to be celebrated for their contributions as well. This team of broadcasters has already expressed their excitement in promoting this Phone Away and Learn Today campaign. I also want to take just a moment to recognize Mr. Baxter Gentry. He is one of our substitute teachers at Incline Middle School, who is also their broadcast exploratory teacher, as well as the support of their principal, Mr. Lettiard, who says that Mr. Gentry is an all-around school volunteer hero. His decades of experience in broadcast journalism provided guidance and support for these students in making this film. With that, I am going to ask JJ to play our first video.
Where's my cell phone?
Let's get real.
We are addicted.
Enslaved to our cell phones. Is that good?
No, imprisoning ourselves in an artificial world.
Inflicting us with fear and anxiety.
Phones away and learn today.
And grow healthily.
Sally, you have the right to remain silent.
Yes, Must be in me. Naturally.
Congratulations to all of them. Our second entry is also a video and comes from the home of the Trailblazers, the Academy of Arts, Careers, and Technology. We have 5 fabulous students that we're acknowledging for this entry. Gavin Cates, Jack Egan, Eric Engelke, Sonia Gustafson, and Gio Whitty. This public service announcement is impactful without saying anything but using sounds and visuals. It clearly reinforces the important message. A special shout out to their teacher, the video production teacher, Mr. Robert Zorn, from his guidance and providing these students with support in making this video. Also in the audience today, and a great appreciation for showing his support, is Principal Jason Maddock. Without further ado, JJ.
So our next entry is from my alma mater, Worcester High School, submitted by Madeline Fisher. We loved her thoughtfulness. She stated that there is a large Spanish-speaking community at Worcester High School, and she strongly believed the PSA should be in Spanish and in English. I want to give a special shout out to Worcester Lead and IB Counselor Erin Hinshaw, who's in the audience today, for her support and guidance that she provided Madeline. And then also Principal David Kitchen, who could not be with us, but he is proud beyond belief. And that is our digital. So you'll notice that she states obviously the problem, how we were wanting to make phones less of a distraction, talks about how students are going to be able to still see their phones, because as we've been talking about, families are concerned, but they still will be able to see it and still be able to access it when it's safe to do so, and then the importance of why we're having the phones put away during learning. And our next one is from Spanish Springs High School. It is from Sophia Anderson. The submission includes eye-catching graphics and sends a clear message. We loved the creativity of the Phone Away, Learn Today tagline included in the cell phone notifications. And again, a special shout out to Spanish Springs teacher Kendra Marsh, who had her photography students, all of them, submit work for the campaign. Principal Hall is absolutely proud of Sophia, and he also wanted me to especially say that Kendra does an amazing job with her students. So if you will join me in congratulating. And last but certainly not least, but unfortunately they could not be here, is our Reno High School students, Lipa Echegoyen, Colin Pilcher, BB Slater, and Sophia Valdez. It's another impactful PSA using only sounds and visual, and it clearly sends the message. I also want to acknowledge Reno High School CTE teacher, Mr. Brian Latour, for the support he provided his students, and of course, Principal Nakashima, who is absolutely proud of this group. JJ? So before we give one last round of applause for all of our students and take some photos, I wanted to acknowledge and thank one of our generous community sponsors who could not be with us, but it's a nice surprise for our students. Every one of our 12 students is going to receive a $25 gift card from Shields. And so the card's not here today because they had hoped to join us, so I will be making sure that the principals are able to disseminate those to our students. So if all of us can just give them one last round of applause and we'll call them up for photos. So let's have the trustees come down and we'll have AACT come up.
So as we close this item, in case you are wondering, as I was, do we get to see all the submissions and all the talent? We do. So anyone in the community or this board that would like to see all the submissions by our students, you can visit www.washoeschools.net/cellphones and see all the talented submission from our students. Absolutely great job, team. I love also that Superintendent Ernst and the leadership team thought of bringing our kids into this, because this is something we are doing together. It's a decision that our students are making every single day, every single class. And I'm so excited to see them messaging to each other in this way, because at the end of the day, we're not going to reach them. It's together as peer work that keeps this going forward.
Thank you, President Smith. It's great to see our kids recognized and doing it with our kids. When we're doing it together, we're going to make progress. And I very much want to recognize Deputy Superintendent McMaster and all of her leadership from start and all the way through on this. She's been instrumental in helping get us to a really great place. And right alongside her, our Chief Communications Officer, Michelle Anderson, who has been just doing a great job from the communication side. So want to make sure that I acknowledge both of them. We're making some great steps forward, and we're doing it together.
I love it. I love it. All right, team, that closes item 4.03 and section 4 in its entirety, and we'll move on now to section 5, our reports, beginning with item 5.01, our student representatives report by Annie Batavia.
Thank you. I wanted to start off by highlighting a few things that I think some of our community members might be excited to hear about. This doesn't exactly relate to student voice, but one thing that students have been doing to better understand the drug use issue in our school district was going to an opioid summit. So thousands of students were able to go to Grand Sierra and learn from previous users and people who are able to inform them on the problems regarding drug use. And these students were able to learn about that in a healthy way and see that others are learning about it. So the drug use does not go unnoticed in Washoe County, and they sent us there almost as a field trip, so we didn't have to pay for it, I don't believe. And a lot of schools were able to go and represent sports and clubs, and my leadership class went to that. So that was a really positive thing that we were able to do in regards to the drug use issue. Also, I would like to highlight that the students from Hug High School who came and gave their recommendations to us and presented on that, that did not go unnoticed, and I personally wrote that down. I know almost every member of this board took that into account, and just because the results aren't reflected immediately or maybe not to the public's eye, it is considered and heard, and all of those issues are being thought of, at least by Student Voice, and I'm sure by all of you guys. So I just want to point out that that does not go unnoticed or inconsidered, because they're all important issues and things that we need to be aware of. So I felt like putting that out there. But we have a Student Voice meeting tonight that I'm excited to go to, and we've been working on our projects. And so we are all putting that together, and everything's coming along pretty nicely, and we're sailing into the new semester, but it's going fast.
All right, fantastic. That closes item 5.01 and brings us now to item 5.02, our board reports. And we will begin with Trustee Diane Nicolette.
I was just telling our lovely Annie that wear your life jacket if it's going to go fast. Take care of yourself. This weekend I had the opportunity to attend a Nevada Association of School Boards training. And Dr. Phil Gore, who co-authored the book on balanced governance, was there. He co-authored it with Dr. Thomas Alsbury. And it's a governance model that we have embraced since about 2016, and it's constant work, because you're kind of reinventing yourself and figuring out how does this model really work and what doesn't work, and making changes along the way. There were several key points that I found to be very, very interesting, and I think we do a very good job of what he called policy, protocol, and processes. And we are constantly looking at that. It's like part of our tapestry, looking at policy, protocol, and processes. And the other thing he talked about that I thought was very interesting was the difference between, I had never thought of this, the difference between being a trustee and a delegate. And I had to think for a while, what's a delegate? What really is the difference? In summary, a trustee, like the word says, is someone who's entrusted to make decisions and makes decisions based on their own knowledge, their own study, their own research, input from others, but ultimately they make their own decision. A delegate is someone who, no matter what, votes the way they are delegated to vote. So I got to thinking, how am I going to use that information? Well, number one, I recognize how important it is that we collect insights, thoughts, voices from anybody who's willing to share. But then, Trustee Diane, it's incumbent upon me to put that all together and make an informed decision that is best for our students and our organization, Washoe County School District. I am not going to have someone tell me how to vote. I am not a delegate. I am a trustee. And my allegiance is to our students, every single student. Our students are not R's and D's and I's and L's. They may be looking into it from a government studies standpoint, but they are individuals who are learning how to make up their own mind, make their own decisions. And so that kind of helped me feel a little stronger in the way that I approach decision making, which sometimes is hard and sometimes it's very easy. But it was a wonderful training, and I'm a proud Nevada Association school board member. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll thank you. Well said. I appreciate those words. I will be brief as I usually am with my board reports. I'm going to highlight some pictures here momentarily, but I do want to congratulate again Trustee Phoenix, and I want to welcome Trustee Hall. Will be a wonderful journey for you in the next several months and years to come. So best of luck to you, and we all look forward to working alongside with you. This is our first meeting since the holiday season, first official meeting of the new year. I love the holiday season in general, and it brings back a lot of nostalgia when I visit our schools during the holiday season. Reminds me of just the festive activities. I had an opportunity to visit Mitchell Elementary, Van Gorder Elementary. I attended the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Christmas party, Hidden Valley. And just last week, I attended Echoloader Elementary School and met with all their principals and some of their teachers. They're doing great work. Trustee Westlake and I had an opportunity to attend the Reed High School community meeting just before Christmas. It was on the upcoming modernization plans. We also had a couple of elected members from the Sparks City Council there as well. It was generally well attended, great information. I also accompanied all of us just about at the training for NASB over the weekend, and I appreciate the knowledge that was shared. And the pictures here represent an event that Trustee Westlake and I attended early Friday morning. Last Friday, we attended a pancake breakfast at Delworth Middle School. These are the Rotarians, the Sparks Rotarians that put it on. And if you go through the pictures, we were put to work. I love that picture. Trustee Westlake is she's really concerned she's going to have to eat her breakfast off the floor. I was put to work. I caught every pancake that was sent my way. As you can see, I was very relieved. So, anyways, I'm glad that made you all smile. Have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. First and foremost, I hope and wish that everyone had great holidays and New Year, and I look forward to celebrating this New Year and having a much better year for all of us in the district as a whole. I, too, attended the NASB training, learned a lot. I also attended during the holidays multiple basketball games for tournaments of all our different high schools. I attended at least a dozen games. I will tell you, the boys, Galena, they have a really good team. They're looking good. So we'll see what happens this year. I also got to participate in the We the People event, which was coordinated by fellow trustee Hull. Anyone who has any concerns about teaching the Constitution in our school needs to attend one of those events, because there were dozens and dozens and dozens of educated kids, outstanding kids. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I did get to meet with Miss Lucy Dugan. She's our principal for the Trainer Middle School. She's doing some great things. I want to share that the middle of the year iReady diagnostic, trainers median of 67% of students meeting their growth goals in reading and in math is allegedly higher than the median for the district as a whole, as well as groups of the middle schools. Their 8th grade math growth data is amazingly with 100% of their students meeting their growth expected. So we really like that. We appreciate that. She's doing great work over there. And last week she shared that she saw an increase in overall attendance by over 14%. So she's taking advantage of the all that she can with the different clubs. And she even dedicated a room specifically for these different clubs for the kids. So we're really happy to see that. So go Vikings. They're doing a good job over there. I also met with Ryan Smith. He's our principal for Glenn Duncan. He's doing some amazing things over there as well. They've reduced their chronic absenteeism by 12% this year thus far. So we like that. This goal was definitely attributed to Mr. Smith's. He came up with an idea of must be present to win program. So they identify twice a week kids that are having great attendance, but you got to be there to get nominated, and you got to be there to win. So that's motivation. You got to get creative. His mid-year iReady diagnostic results also showed a significant student growth, especially in the 3rd grade. Reading, where the median percentage of students making their annual typical growth was 89%. So we love that. And in the 4th grade, it's 94%, so they're doing a great job. Lastly, they saw their best soccer tryouts this year with 70 students. That was really good. I'd like to believe that it's because I actually donated 2 goals for their soccer field, but I think it has more to do with the expansion of athletics in the 6th grade. So go Dolphins. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, 2025 is going to be amazing. And one of the first events was We the People, and Trustee Hull does such an amazing job with this event. I could try to explain everything that is going on and how talented these students are that are participating. It would not do it justice. You really need to see it in action and read one. I attended the Dilworth Orchestra and Choir concert. It was so much fun, and I have to say the stands were packed. I didn't even make it into the stands. I was along the wall. There were so many parents there supporting and younger siblings supporting their family member. It was amazing. I read at Sun Valley Elementary School and helped make art projects in the kindergarten classes. And what was this at? Oh, this was the swearing in. Yes, thank you. We all look very nice, I have to say. The swearing in of our trustees. So congratulations to Trustee Hall. Diane, I'm so glad you're here. Alex, I'm so glad you're here. And now moving on to the Rotary Pancake Breakfast. It's for students at Dilworth that make the honor roll. And again, lots of kids are making the honor roll. Mayor Ed Lawson was in attendance. I love that our elected officials are going to these and supporting our kids and our staff. And oh, there's all the kids. And that's just like one grade in there. They recognize 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's amazing. And Adam is a professional pancake catcher. I have to say, I wouldn't do it. I did not. Oh, there was chocolate chips on there. I didn't want to do it because I did not want pancake on my face. So I had the honor of taking lunch to Sparks High School, their student voice group, and I love being part of that. I did attend the Reed facility modernization with Trustee Adam, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing what's coming forward in these schools. I participated in the selection process for the new trustee. Congratulations, Trustee Phoenix. And the NASB training, the first of 2025, absolutely amazing. Dr. Phil Gore, he is brilliant. I am so glad that I was able to attend that. Thank you.
I feel like I just need to say it one more time, but Assistant Principal Melissa Cook at Dilworth is also a Reed High late 90s graduate, and Natalie, who spoke earlier, Amy, who's going to speak, Nikki, who's back there. We have some really good Reed High graduates, so I just want to give a little shout out to my Reed High Raiders. Sorry. And Jen, yes, JJ, yes. See, look it's amazing. Okay, so this weekend I had the amazing opportunity to run from the NASB conference over to the Prom Closet with Dance with Grace. It was the first time, and we kind of got late notice out to our schools, but it was just in time for JA, which is coming up soon. And so we had over 70 students, 10 from 10 Washoe County high schools, as well as some other surrounding schools, but 10 Washoe County School District high schools. 120 items were checked out to students, and it was absolutely incredible to see the students being able to try on any dress, not worry about how much it was going to cost their parents, and to know that they were going to go to a dance in an incredible outfit, including boys who were trying on suits and probably had never had a full suit before. And the confidence in them as they were stepping out in their, fancy dresses. We had several kids that stayed almost the entire time, started off volunteering in the morning, and they just hung out the whole day because they were having so much fun with their peers, trying on dresses. And so I just want to give a shout out to that. And they're still taking donations. So you can donate any items that we all have sitting in the back of our closet to the Dancing with Grace, Dance with Grace. And I went ahead and just started running. So I had this amazing opportunity to have my whole family here. I have a really big family because both my parents and my husband's parents are divorced, and so we have one of those modern American families where we're all together, and we do a lot together, and it's really amazing. And then I got to tour both Marcy Hers and Huntsberger yesterday with Deputy Superintendent McMaster, and I was just blown away by our teachers and staff at these schools, and I'm just really excited to keep going. So thank you.
All right, Trustee Phoenix. So this is where I look at you and you just
Oh my
know that
goodness,
it's your
what do I say
turn.
now? No, first of all, thanks, and I really do appreciate the opportunity today, along with all the other candidates that came out. You can see, and you got to be on the other end where they put all the hard work and effort, and I've sat on the other side of the table where I've had to do the same, and I know how tough it can be on making those decisions. But I really do appreciate that. It is an honor and privilege, really, sincerely. There's no doubt in my mind. It kind of goes back to my son's high school days. Go Spanish Springs. But I am a Reed Raider. But anyways, what I'm getting to is, prior to all this, the JROTC and the parade this year. Again, the music and the shouting and oh man, I just was like, what is on here? I'm glad, I'm proud, I'm happy to be a part of this. So just to be in that parade and watch all that going on. And then just this last weekend, I am trying to be a referee in wrestling for the JV tournament that in Carson City this weekend, and boy, there's a lot to learn on that. Okay. But no, just seeing how much these student athletes are actually participating and really getting into it, and there's a lot of heart and effort goes into that. And then lastly, I was a sub, and prior to being appointed here, I did sub out at Natchez and Lemon Valley and Marvin Moss and Agnes Risley, and the respect that I have for the teachers that are in the classroom. And I actually being a sub in the classroom myself, having to manage the students and the expectations and the curriculum and just trying to get through the day, So, I have a real appreciation for those that are in the trenches, as I would like to call it. So, and that's the only report that I have for today. So, thanks.
Hey, gosh, that's a lot.
Yes, I know, right? And that's where all begins. So of course, a welcome to Trustee Christine Hall, and a congratulations to our new trustee JJ Phoenix. So Trustee Hall, has there ever been a trustee who has served more before their first meeting, their regularly scheduled meeting? I don't think so. Until we got to our new appointment of Trustee JJ Phoenix, who is the fastest serving to a regular board member meeting from an appointment. And so just to see both of you diving right in, making motions in it is just incredibly exciting. So welcome. I had school visits to Huffaker Elementary, Hunter Lake Elementary, and Swope Middle School. I was also the keynote speaker last night at the Roy Gaum Elementary School PFA annual meeting, which was fantastic. And there was a lot of preparation in my role for an upcoming professional development day for the trustees, and of course the District C appointment process. I was a judge at the regional We the People competition, and let me tell you, if anybody has any questions about the Constitution here in Washoe County, or Northern Nevada for that matter, come to one of those competitions and see those talented children. I was very honored to be legally sworn in by my family as well. And then I have a photo up here of our NASB Professional Learning Day, which can stay up there. It was great to be with all of the trustees at the time, diving right in, learning how we can be the best that we can be and adhere to our shared commitment to balanced governance. As a reminder to our community, you have until January 31st, our high school students, to apply for AACT's Aviation Academy and Criminal Justice Program starting next year. I was also really wanted to congratulate the Dance with Grace organization. It's part of the Katie Grace Foundation, and I loved those photos from Trustee Hall. And I'm going to close with a very exciting point, okay? So get ready for this. As of last Monday, January 6th, Styrofoam was eliminated in the Washoe County School District. Yes. And you think that's good. As of yesterday, spork packets have also been eliminated and all the unnecessary waste that comes with it. So how did those fantastic things happen, in addition to other things that are in the work? Well, I want to acknowledge Dan Pym from our Nutrition Services, Adam Searcy, our Chief Operating Officer, and the advocacy of the Roy Gaum Green Team, led by Dr. Zoe Bray. So this is how good ideas come up from a grassroots perspective. It's how our leaders in our teams say, you know what, let's look into it. And they did, and we did, and now it's done. And these are all the steps that we take for a better world for our kids. And so I want to say thank you and congratulations. Can't wait to see the other things to come. All right. That closes item 5.02 and brings us now to item 5.03, our superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Smith. So I wanted to start with a few different recognitions. First of all, Trustee Phoenix, very happy to have you as a part of a wonderful team. Want to welcome you and say congratulations on your appointment. Trustee Hall, Trustee Woodley, President Smith, and Trustee Nicolette. Wanted to just say congratulations to you on your elections and your desire to serve our school district and our community. And I just wanted to say congratulations to each of you. I also wanted to say congratulations to President Smith, Vice President Mayberry, and Clerk Woodley. on your nominations and accepting those this evening. And I also want to say thank you to Trustee Westlake. Your approach is exactly the team approach that is so important to us functioning at really high levels, and you modeled and demonstrated that right before all of our eyes. So I wanted to just start with that. And partly I say that also because this is School Board Appreciation Month. And I also wanted to pause for a moment and say thank you for your trust in me as superintendent. I greatly appreciate that trust. I don't ever take that for granted, and really just wanted to say thank you for that. Every day is an opportunity to learn, and I'm appreciative of that. I remain very humbled and honored to lead this school district. You see the people, you see the students, and when you get an opportunity to see them, see their work, taste their wonderful treats, you recognize the talents that we have collectively. And you know, when I look at leadership, I look at it as a collective endeavor. And the successes and the strides that we make for our students, for our families, and for our educators, we do it together. And those successes are reflective of all the leadership that is demonstrated. Annie, I would be remiss if I didn't just take a moment to say what outstanding contributions you make. Your insights are just spot on. They're to the point, and you bring an energy to our board that is so important because we're all here to try to help students. And to have you step into that leadership role, have the courage to sit up here with all of these adults and share your insights and input, it's outstanding. So I want to make sure I recognize you for that. And so really that's just kind of how I wanted to conclude on board appreciation. As you see, I am surrounded by a wonderful team. From JJ to Nikki to Tiffany to Michelle to Adam to our entire leadership team. They are the ones that put all of these things together and make these things operate in ways that are really pretty seamless when you look at the whole of all of the things that are operating within our district. So I wanted to pause, say thank you to each of them for that. And then we just had aside from the wonderful treats, and boy, good luck on our Hug High School culinary students made some treats for our trustees. And you might get a workout beforehand, actually before eating them, because they are a box full of cookies. And if any of you are able to work your way through, well, I'm pretty impressed, but I know you'll share them with lots of people. But they are really a box full of treats, and so we wanted to acknowledge our Hug High School culinary students. So with that, I just wanted to conclude by recognizing each of you, your leadership, your desire to serve, your willingness to do it together is all really important to all of us stepping forward, continuing to make strides for our students, families, and our teachers. And I, too, am really excited about 2025 and everything that we have in front of us. So just wanted to share those gifts and recognize each of you.
Thank you so much. Oh, gosh. All right, that closes item 5.03 and closes section 5 in its entirety. We'll move on now to section 6. Beginning first with closing public comment as part of item 6.01. JJ.
Amy McClipp.
Welcome, Amy.
Is it on?
Okay, sorry, I've never done this before. So my name's Amy McKillop, and I am representing Dance with Grace. It's the new prom closet that we have created here for all of our students, and it's completely free. So what we do is we ask donations from our community members to provide any type of prom item that there is. Dress, shoes, jewelry, and like Christine was telling us, it was absolutely incredible. The community came out in full force. We had over 500 items to provide to these students, and they got to come and shop and pick whatever they wanted. And one of the best parts was that President Smith even donated some things from her own closet. She called me up the weekend before and said, hi. And I'm like, and she goes, my name's Beth Smith. And I go, wait. The Beth Smith? She goes, yes! And so sure enough, I went straight up to her house. She provided the most beautiful gowns. One was just full of sparkles, and the girls loved it. And she was the bridge. She was the piece that we needed at Dance at Grace, because I had no idea how to get this to the kids. Like, we created it, but where were the kids? We can't do anything without the kids. And so she was the piece, and she tirelessly worked this last week to get the notifications out to all of the schools so that these kids showed up. We had over 70 kids show up. 49 walked away with something. 49 kids get to go to prom, or get to go to JA, or get to go somewhere. Even if it's their cousin's wedding this weekend, I don't really care what they use it for. Just they get to go. They get to feel pretty. We had a beautiful Down syndrome girl for Reed come up. She put on a dress. She came out and she goes, I'm so pretty. Like, you just can't take that away. And so huge, gigantic thank you to you, President Smith, because I don't think we would have had half the kids if you didn't be that bridge. And to Trustee Hull for showing up, putting the boots on the ground, helping those kids out, and getting the word out there as well. Because without you two, we wouldn't have had the showing that we did. And we just expect this to grow even more. Yesterday, I accepted a donation of 4 boxes full of items and 6 boxes of shoes from the North Valley's leadership group. I mean, it's just growing. It's growing. I have 7 people I'm meeting this week to get more. So we're hoping to do it again in March, possibly. I will definitely let you know, President Smith. And we just hope it to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and to bridge that gap for the kids that just maybe don't have the means to make this happen. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much for sharing that and for letting our community know about the great work that's happening. That means so much. And thank you for doing that, because we very much believe that there should not be financial barriers for our children with these life experiences, and you're helping to make that happen for something as important as prom.
John Eppolito.
Welcome, Mr. Eppolito. Very nice to have you with us.
My name is John Eppolito. You can find 1,500 of us on Facebook at Protect Nevada Children. Welcome, Mr. Phoenix. What we heard earlier from the Safe and Healthy Schools Committee, and then the other presentation about the cell phones, there's a lot of good things going on. Was glad to hear that. Thank you. And thanks to the volunteers on the committee. Couple things that didn't come up. Maybe a couple years ago, that committee was tasked with looking at how social media and screen time negatively impact kids. It might have been Trustee Nicolette that asked that. Have never heard anything else about that from the committee. Did we forget about that, or we're not concerned about that anymore, maybe? A few issues, Washoe County School District issues. One, maybe 8 years ago, about 5 student deaths at Damani High. I don't know who remembers that, probably all of you. There was a public meeting in the high school auditorium to discuss these deaths. One of the WCSD invited speakers, Annette Rothman, who is a pediatric nurse practitioner at Renown, who only works with children who have psychiatric issues, was asked to speak, and she was speaking. As soon as she was asked by the district, as soon as Ms. Rothman stated she was frustrated with the district for increasing student screen time under the guise of education, the district cut her time short. Since then, screen time for education has likely been increased. 2, maybe 5 years ago, the district gave a psychological evaluation to all the kids in 5 schools without prior parental consent. I forgot who the third-party vendor was, but I doubt any of that data ever got deleted. Will that psychological data affect the future of those kids? We don't know. 3, Maybe 4 years ago, a 9th grade student committed suicide. His mother said an app required in some WCSD schools, Kahoot, contributed to his suicide. A day before the suicide, he took a 3-question quiz on Kahoot while at school titled, "Should I Kill Myself?" The next day, Caleb killed himself. Is Kahoot still used in WCSD schools? You guys probably don't know. Speaking about data, Infinite Campus, the most massive database ever created on children. 200 pages here. This is from 5 years of elementary school on my kids. We don't know what is even in Infinite Campus, and we've been trying to get some of that data deleted for years and years and years. I don't have enough time to finish, but you can go to protectnevadachildren.org. I don't think this is going to be an issue until this affects one of Beth's kids or a trustee's kids or the superintendent's kids when they can't get into their college. But this data is out there and it's never deleted.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your advocacy.
That's all I have.
All right. That closes item 6.01 and moves us on now to item 6.02, the announcement of our next meeting, which will be Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. And now at 5:12 p.m., adjournment, item 6.03. Thank you.